In the human being, there are two perfectly defined factors: personality and essence. Official psychology defines personality as the set of physical, intellectual, emotional, volitional, and moral traits of a person. In general, it is said to be the special character that distinguishes a person from others. Personality is energetic. A child at birth has no personality. It is formed from birth to 7 years of age and then strengthens with time and experiences. Time is round, and the life of the personality is born in its time, develops in its time, and dies in its time. There is no tomorrow for the personality of the dead. Personality is a vehicle so that essence can manifest, because an adaptation to the culture and society in which the individual lives is needed. That's why it serves only one existence, and every time an existence begins, it must be reformed. Personality is formed at home, at school, in the environment. It is the result of education, customs, etc. The ghosts of the deceased or the personality live in the fifth dimension. This is eternity. Length, width, and height form the three dimensions of the cellular world. Time is the fourth dimension, eternity is the fifth dimension, and that which is beyond eternity and time corresponds to the sixth dimension. Liberation really begins in the sixth dimension, the world of the divine spirit. It is the electronic world, the world of the sixth dimension. Everyone who dies enters the fifth dimension. Eternity opens to devour the deceased and then expels them from its bosom to return them to the world of time and physical form. The deceased are expelled from eternity because they do not yet possess the self. Only those who possess the self can live in eternity. The personality is energetic. When the person dies, from time to time, it materializes in the physical world and becomes visible and tangible before our own eyes. That is what we call apparitions, or ghosts. Personalities or ghosts manifest themselves due to desire and attachment. Many times, it is not only the personality of the deceased that manifests itself in some place, home, or cemetery, but also some of his psychological aggregates remain in certain places for many years due to material attachments and the fact that the deceased never worked for awakened consciousness. This is the reason why when a person dies, part of his ego and personality usually goes to the places of his preferences. The one who was drunk goes to the canteen, the monk or the nun goes to the convent, the clerk visits what was their place of work in life. Those who were doctors or nurses usually go to the hospitals where they practiced their profession, to continue seeing patients. The deceased mother who dearly loved a child, the self of attachment, along with his personality, they will manifest themselves to him. Now, there are dying people who take hours, days, weeks to disincarnate simply because they are attached to this world. They do not want to leave it. They fear death because they are attached to life. In other cases, some dying people take a long time to disincarnate and suffer too much before leaving the physical body because of a settling of accounts by the lords of divine justice, so that the dying person pays part of the karma that they generated in the existence they are in. To conclude, death for young people is terrible, frightening. It causes horror and fear. Death for an elderly person is a consolation, a rest. Many elderly people burdened with many years say, "I want to rest," alluding to already wanting to disembodied, to abandon that old physical body, damaged by the passage of time that only causes regret and pain and suffering. There are people who resort to take their life at some point of depression or despair. The karma of this person is that they will have to return to a new existence and will lose their physical body against their will, possibly when they are in the best moment of their existence. The disembodied person has total freedom to go to the places they want to go. If they enter a restaurant, they greet people, and their subconscious greets them. They can order food and the owner will serve them some succulent dish with mental matter. The disembodied person pays with mental currency. That is why the disincarnated do not realize that they have already lost their physical body because of their mental projections. These prevent them from realizing that they are already disincarnated. The hope of a monk whose consciousness is asleep is to go with God. In his mind projects angels with wings and believes that he is already in paradise. The hope of a greedy person is to continue preserving his wealth and properties. So he goes to where he hid the money, or to the properties. The deceased also have government, just as we do in the physical world. Only the government of the deceased, who are in the lower worlds, are demons, and the government of the disembodied, who are in the higher dimensions, are angels. But they do not realize that they are ruled by angels or demons because their conscience is asleep. When the dying person dies, the prayers and religious rites serve as a consolation to direct the essence of his soul towards the other world, the world of the deed. What continues after the death of the physical body? The essence, which is the embryo of the soul in 3%, and the ego that bottles it to return to a new body of flesh and blood until reaching 108 existences. If we do not manage to awaken consciousness by eliminating the ego and creating the vehicles of the being, the definitive devolution into the infernal worlds of nature awaits us.